Hong Kong is in the spotlight again after the central government enacts a national security law for the region. But what exactly is this new law, and how will it protect the city of Hong Kong and China as a whole? I'm Tu Huao, and I'm going to break it all down for you from my perspective. All right, so to understand why China is even introducing the law right now, we have to put it into context. These are scenes from just last year. Remember the violent protests and riots? Well, they seem to be a regular occurrence in Asia's financial hub. For some people living there, it was a nightmare.
If they are peacefully protesting, that is fine, but they are now using all sorts of violence. That is not acceptable.
Back then, what triggered the chaos was a proposed law, known as the Fugitive Bill, which authorities said would close loopholes in the city's legal system by allowing criminal suspects to be transferred to other territories. Many feared it would infringe upon their freedom, so people took to the streets in protest. And even though the government abandoned the Fugitive Bill, things soon escalated. Protesters made 5 demands that went far beyond the bill itself, including asking for amnesty for arrested protesters and calling for universal suffrage. Violence became their weapon. They vandalized 90% of the city's subway stations. They tainted the national emblem, lit things on fire, threw petrol bombs at police, and even took their anger out on mere civilians on the street. The riots turned Hong Kong into a battleground. Look, in any civil society, if you have an agenda to advance, just do it legally. The moment you start using violence, it becomes a crime. So how can a government keep people from resorting to violence? Enter the rule of law. Back in 2003, the city attempted to pass Article 23 of Hong Kong's Basic Law, which would have prohibited acts that jeopardized national security. But that effort came to a screeching halt following opposition and demonstrations. So now, the central government is stepping in to protect its territory, and it has every right to do so. Remember, one country, 2 systems, but country comes first.
National security is always a matter within the purview of the central authorities, and that's the same with any countries, be it a unitary state or a federal state. So I hope that clears the concern that people have, because they tend to look at 2 systems and forgot that Hong Kong is part of China.
During this year's 2 sessions, China's largest political event, lawmakers introduced the national security legislation for the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Essentially, Beijing is saying enough is enough. It would not allow one of its territories to slide into an abyss. But at the same time, it makes sure Hong Kong will retain its autonomy under the one country, 2 systems principle.
Hong Kong's freedoms will be preserved, and Hong Kong's vibrancy and core values in terms of the rule of law, the independence of the judiciary, the various rights and freedoms enjoyed by people will continue to be there.
Still, some have been vehemently attacking this new law, claiming Hong Kong's future of autonomy will be doomed.
What makes me fear is not my potential imprisonment, but the gloomy fact that the new law will be the threat over the city's future.
This guy played a central role in the riots last year. He's Joshua Wan, and he rallied students to go onto the streets and even met with politicians from the US and Europe to garner support. Just days ago, he resigned as the leader of political group Demosisto. The other 2 senior members, Nathan Law and Agnes Chow, also stepped down. So, in a way, this shows the law is already acting as a deterrent to violent forces, which is making Hong Kong residents pretty grateful.
让社会上的人知道，如果你真的犯了法，你会接受什么的处分。
投资者呢，实际上也是有一个利好的因素，所以呢，会长远来讲会有利于香港的经济发展。
Hong Kong's Chief Secretary Matthew Cheung says 99.9% of the residents would not be affected by this new law. They will go about their lives the same as before. But there is something different. With this law, people there can better enjoy the benefits of one country, 2 systems.